Right. Is everybody ready? Right. Is everybody ready? Okay. Well, good afternoon. Okay. Well, good afternoon. I want to again thank all of the state employees, and local government employees, first responders, and certainly the utility linemen who have been continually working around the clock to maintain our roads and bridges, and restore our power. We are still experiencing and going to continue to experience some bitter cold temperatures. And that is not going to change. While Jay is going to explain that. As we are now a few days into this weather event, I want to make one thing very clear. The safety of all of our citizens here in Louisiana, top priority of mine, and everyone standing behind me. The good news is that the rain and the sleet is gone. And also in the southern part of the state, we're reporting major power outages. The bad news is that unfortunately in the northern part of our state, many of our citizens in central and North Louisiana are without power while they experience this bitter cold weather. We have approximately 120,000 customers who are without power in Louisiana, in Central and North Louisiana. However, we have double the amount of vegetation and linemen to handle restoring power in that area. That is important. The good news is because the southern part of the state hasn't been affected by power outages. That has allowed those utility companies in the southern part to send resources to the northern part of the state. So we are marshaling and those assets as we speak. However, these crews work to restore power. Tonight, if you're without power, you need to take the precautions and bundle up. It is going to be a bitter, cold night. We also want to remind all of our citizens, especially in North Louisiana, to stay off the roadway in North Louisiana where roads are icy. I want to thank you all for listening over the last 24 hours. We really have not had any major auto accidents because people have heeded our advice and stayed off the road. We have numerous road closures. We've got 1,500 DOT personnel that have been working right now to make sure that dangerous roads are closed, that we can open. Just because a road is passable does not mean it's safe. So if you see people going slow down that road, man as well. We are standing up more warming centers as we receive those requests the local parishes. Those warming centers are not kicking anyone out at night. We have for folks as well. I would again encourage people, if they have not downloaded to get a game plan, please do so. If you have the ability to charge your cell phone or your electronic devices, keep them charged. Because again, you may have power right now, but as they work to restore power, they may have to turn the power to bring that power up. Brandon with the PSC and Philip are going to explain that in a bit. We are going to continue to urge you all to stay weather aware. If you're using a generator, use safely. Continue to monitor official updates as we move this week. Prolonged cold and potential power outages from this winter storm increases the risk of house fires. It increases the risk of house fires. Please be diligent. And heed the warnings and the precautions that Brian Adams, our fire marshal, is going to go over in just a minute. Be very careful around the use of heating devices in your home. Please use caution again when using those heating devices to prevent deadly fires, and also we want you to be aware, especially if you're using gas-fired heating elements, to be mindful of carbon monoxide. It is a silent killer. LDH has announced three deaths, but we are tracking three additional deaths. Early indications show that there are two additional hypothermia deaths and loss of oxygen. The hypothermia occurred in an apartment, and one in a mobile home. So again, please check on your neighbors, your families, and your families. This is going to be bitter cold. If you do not have power or a heating source, you need to take precautions. It's going to be extremely cold tonight. Thank you to everyone again who continues to listen. As I said earlier. And as I explained, those deaths really are heartbreaking and tragic. So our thoughts and prayers go out to their families, and everyone has been affected. This weather event again continues to be very dangerous. Urging you all to take these precautions. Don't travel unless it's necessary in North and Central Louisiana. Be cognizant of your heating generation and your generator use. We will continue to remain fully engaged, protecting life and supporting our communities throughout this event. Again, because we've had little power outages in the South, that's allowed us to double the amount of linemen that we can send to North Louisiana, to work. Our state emergency operations center is fully activated. GOSEP is coordinating with local officials, and contingency plans are in place. Just to give you some statistics, DOTD has already expended 3.2 million pounds of salt, over 75,000 gallons of brine. We've got over, as I said earlier, personnel deployed. Louisiana State Police has 377 personnel activated, working right now in 525 are on standby with 200 support personnel performing other duties. LDH has 76 warming centers currently open. I think there are 14 warming centers that are pending. Talk about those. FEMA helped us preposition assets, generators, water and meals as well. We've approved the federal declaration, direct federal assistance. We're going to be asking the White House to grant us a major declaration because we know have a tremendous amount of vegetation and debris to pick up after. The Louisiana National Guard is fully activated. We've got 118 available generators, 40,000 MREs, over 600,000 bottles of water, 123 personnel currently working. DCFS has the Child Protection Hotline fully operational, and leadership and essential personnel or in place 24/7. Again. The fire marshal is going to talk to you all about fire safety. That's the thing that I would like to have more house fires, fire-related events, and certainly no more deaths due to carbon monoxide or hypothermia. And with that, I would like to bring Jay up, kind of walk us through this week's weather.
Thank you, Governor.
As you pointed out, Governor, even though we're done with freezing rain, the sleet, and the snow, we're still a long way from being out of the woods in terms of the cold. The dangerous and deadly cold will continue through the week. In fact, for today, a good bit of North Louisiana will not get above freezing. And temperatures will dive down back into the teens and maybe even some single digits across the northern tier of Parishes. Central Louisiana will get down into the teens, and it could drop down all the way into the 20s, for the coastal tonight. We're talking about a prolonged freeze that extends into the day tomorrow. Sunshine is back. Good news there. Tomorrow we should get above freezing statewide, although the duration above freezing, particularly in the northern parishes, will be relatively short. It's another hard freeze for much of the state. Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, prolonged freeze there. Do it all over again. Wednesday night, Thursday morning. Temperatures remaining below all week long. And in fact, we could see a reinforcing surge of Arctic air this upcoming weekend that could take North Louisiana back down into the teens for Saturday and Sunday morning. So the cold clearly is not out of the way yet. It's going to be with us for a while, and that means getting rid of that ice that lingers. That's going to be there for a number of days. People without power. It's not just the outdoor temperatures. Indoor temperatures are going to get dangerously cold with this prolonged run at and below freezing. So we want to make sure that across the state are ready and prepared for this prolonged run bitterly cold temperatures. You may have seen the potential for some precipitation later this week, Thursday into Friday. Don't worry, it's not going to come in a winter form that's going to add to the icing we already have. But just be prepared and aware that it could develop on Friday. I think it all comes as rain, all rain in liquid form and again add to the problems that we have out there right now. Now, even temperatures below freezing, sunshine will generate some melting every day. That's some good news. I want to remind you that while roads may clear up in the midday and afternoon hours, while that melting is going on, some of that liquid could run out onto the road and create new icing conditions for that early morning drive. So be extra aware and cognizant the threat there for those morning as you begin to work your way out the door. And of course, these melting and power outages as we get farther into the week, more likely to create additional infrastructure and water pressure issues as we go through the week and towards the upcoming weekend. So in summary, to repeat what the governor has already mentioned, we want everyone out there to weather aware, maybe just as important. We ask you to be extra patient, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jay. Glenn Leday, Secretary of DOTD. As the governor mentioned, we continue to ramp up operations to post-storm recovery. We've got over 1,500 statewide working to help recover. We've got personnel, as the governor mentioned, that we're bringing from the south, moving those north, so that we continue to support really everyone north along that I-20 corridor. Really, what our crews are doing now, we're trying to break up that ice in these northern parishes. We're treating that. Luckily, we had the largest inventory of both brine and salt in the state's history. That went a long way. As the governor mentioned, over 3.3 million pounds of salt have already been delivered, and over 75,000 gallons of brine. Continue to treat those roads over the coming days. As Jay mentioned, as that ice continues to thaw, we'll continue to get that precipitation off the roads safe in these coming days. In addition to that, we're working closely with PSC and the energy companies to clear the roads. We've got crews all over North Louisiana helping to remove tree debris to allow that power to be restored. Those continue to be DOT's primary focus is improving these roadway conditions, getting all state roadways open, and making sure they're safe for the traveling public. In general, as the governor mentioned, please stay off the roads, but if you have to travel, if necessary, please look out for our crews and the emergency crews. Please drive slowly. And again, if there are roadways that are closed, remember it's unlawful to go around these barricades. Please be cognizant of that. As roadway conditions change, look at our website, 511la.org and our 511la. As conditions change over the coming days, as Jay mentioned, please look at the roadway conditions and any changes there. Thank you. Turn it over to State Fire Marshal.
Thank you, Secretary of the Day. So we'll talk a little bit about heating safety. We talked about that continuously over this event. And previous, so we're currently investigating a 13th fire fatality of the year, which is just unprecedented for us this quickly through January. So we'll talk a little bit about safety. If you have power, if you have power and you're using space heaters, you want to keep those space heaters 3 to 5 feet away from anything that could catch on fire. Blankets, spreads, curtains, all those other things that you may have in your room. If you're going to use a fireplace because you don't have, you want to try to turn it off. You don't want to have an open flame. You don't want to have open candles. Make sure you turn those things off. Turn those things off. Blankets. If you have that, opportunity to cover up with those extra blankets. Again, the space heaters. You want to make sure that you want to make sure that you use those, plug them directly into the outlets, not its extension cords, or other surge suppressors, because they are not made for those. If you have a working smoke alarm in your home, make sure before you go to bed tonight, you check. Push that test button and make sure. Again, we want to make sure that you understand that those heating safety issues are very important and very critical to make sure that you make it out of your home tonight if something happens. Thank you, boss.
I'm Bruce Greenstein. I'm the Secretary of the Louisiana Department of Health. I've got a couple of data points that I want to share, and then some safety tips that I really hope everybody will follow. Just start out by thanking the governor, for strong leadership, starting out as a way to think about. We were together on Thursday. The governor and all Louisianians to stay off the road when it was unsafe. And today we are very proud that there has been no major disasters or fatalities on the road. Yet we have seen two hypothermia deaths that we've reported and sourced, two more that we're following up on and will be reporting soon. We think that the hypothermia deaths are avoidable. We really implore you to basically take care of yourself and take care of your neighbors. Part of the four Ps. The first one being people. We're calling out warming shelters today. We have 76 shelters centers open right now. 14 on the way. We're tracking specifically in the 11 parishes with the highest percentages of power outages. There are multiple shelters in 10 of the 11 parishes. The last parish will be open hopefully by the end of today. The warming centers and shelters are only as good as they're being used. We have a fair amount of foot traffic, but there's plenty of access and availability. You can spend the afternoon there. No one is asking anybody to stay overnight because where you live is dangerously cold. And I implore you to please use it and stay in the warming shelters. I want to talk about another death that we announced earlier today, and that is someone that had succumbed to carbon monoxide poisoning. This again is an avoidable death. I want to read some specific safety tips, and then be very clear. First of all, carbon monoxide is an odorless, colorless gas. The governor referred to it as an invisible killer. Carbon monoxide is present when fuel is burned in furnaces and open fires. Fuels that can produce carbon monoxide gasoline, wood, coal, natural gas, propane, oil, and methane. The risk primarily is from when we're seeing generators being used or very close to the home. So in the death that we reported today, a gentleman succumbed to carbon monoxide poisoning because the generator was running inside of a garage. The garage is not far enough away from the home to run it. It must be very clear. At least 20 feet away from the home to run your generator safely. The number of power outages that we have right now, I'm imploring everyone that's using generators outside the house 20 feet away. Lastly, I want to talk a little bit about where we're at with water systems. We track and regulate and monitor and help water systems around the state. And to put where we're at today in context, 48 systems that are affected. That's either outages, boil water advisories. In 2021, the ice event, we had around systems that were impacted. 2025, last year, it was 150. As I mentioned, today we're at 48. Given the cold weather that we're expecting to see, we expect those numbers to go a little bit higher. If you go to get a game plan, you will see tips on ways to make sure that your home is safe. You're protecting pipes, again, one of the four Ps. And we want to make sure that you keep the water in your home safe. And again, our local officials are doing a great job of keeping water systems up and running at the local level. That's all I've got for now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Brandon Prime, Secretary of the Public Service Commission. I think y'all can see the map over here. That's utility outage map as of noon today. So I'm going to give y'all some numbers of where we peak per the state, but also per utility where we are now. As the numbers are dropping, even as I'm doing the report. So we reported a total peak outage late last night, I guess yesterday afternoon, of about 151,000. However, that didn't account for some utilities who lost power earlier and brought it back on before the peak occurred in the northeastern part of the state. The outages went southwest to northeast as the rain moved through. So we actually had a total peak of 175,000. Utility specific, Beauregard Electric, Beauregard Parish peaked about 3,700. They're 100% restored now. Claiborne Electric and Claiborne Parish 650. I've got 187 now. Clico, which would be Grant, Natchitoches, Red River, I guess parts of Wayne as well. That central part of the state peaked at 23,900. They're down to about 5,100. Concordia, not just a little bit of Catalina, a little bit of LaSalle as well. 2,600, 1,500 now. Energy, which has Jackson, Richland, Westland, East Carroll parishes, where we had the most icing, peaked at about 92,000. We're at about 84,000 now. Northeast Power, which is in Morehouse, mainly Morehouse, down a little bit in Richland as well. Peaked at 8,000, and they're at 7,400 again. The most icing are having the slowest restoration. Panola Harrison, which is in DeSoto, peaked at 2,600, and they're about 1,000 now. And finally, SWEPCO, which is Caddo down into Red River, DeSoto, peaked at about 42,500, and they're about 2,500 now. So the total number is down to about 120,000 from that peak of 175. When we spoke last year during the hurricane, I like to look at historical comparison purposes to put these numbers into perspective. So for Hurricane Francine, we peaked at 400,000. We had two severe weather events. The governor first started in May of 24. One of those was 208,000. We actually, from a one-day severe weather event, occurred peak outages considerably higher than what we're seeing here. That doesn't mean it's going to be easier for the restoration. Obviously, there's struggles here that you don't see in those type of outages. You've heard about the road issues. We can't thank DOTD enough. There's been incredible coordination with all the utilities clearing the roads, and that's where the issues are coming from. This is the large majority of the damage. Every utility is tree damage. Taking down lines. Taking down lines, trees from the ice, falling into the existing right-of-ways and taking the lines down with them. I do have some general restoration times for the three major utilities, SWEPCO and Energy. Clico is anticipating the bulk of its system being totally restored tomorrow. There's going to be a lot coming on tonight, but that's a best case scenario. I say best case. That's actually a little bit of a conservative SWEPCO also anticipates the majority tomorrow. Some will linger predominantly in that Natchitoches area. And energy is also anticipating about 90% by Wednesday. All of these utilities are going to be providing us some more granular analysis that typically takes time for them to get out there and do their assessments. So as we get those assessments, we'll be able to push out parish-specific information. We are going to work with LDH and ensure that any of these warming shelters that need power and additional locations are put on the priority list. And finally, for more granular update for energy and some of the concerns, I know the governor alluded to this about power coming on in winters, a little bit different from a hurricane because of the heat. Strain that puts on the system from the heater. And while you have some outages, go back out. Philip will explain that in energy's restoration efforts as well.
Thank you, Brandon. Good afternoon. Philip Day, President of Energy Louisiana. First of all, I want to make sure we clarify what the anticipated restorations are. We are planning to have 90% of our customers that have access issues are not a challenge. That's primarily along the I-20 corridor, Washita Parish. 90% on Wednesday. Those customers that are having challenges and more severe damage. We anticipate having 90% of our customers restored by Thursday. I just want to emphasize 90%. Most of those customers will be restored before that. It also means that some customers will linger on more days if they have very significant damage. And those customers that have damage to their home, they have to be able to take power. So you may need an electrician. The vegetation has pulled weatherhead and some electric equipment away from home. I want to note on the cold load pickup. Following a hurricane, there's very big gains right after a hurricane. Once you clear the line, you turn the power back on, and it gets rolling right away. In the winter, when you have extreme load conditions, you have to do things on a sectional basis. So we will go sometimes block by block, put a section on, wait until the appliances come on, the heaters come on, make sure that fuse holds, then move on to the next section. The point of that is you won't see these big chunks of load like you see after a hurricane. It's going to be slow. It's going to be methodical. We do have people actively processing the process. We have seen extreme damage due to ice accumulation in that corridor along the I-20, and then moving up northeast to that northeast portion. We have seen evidence of ice accumulation as 1 inch or greater, and that has created a lot of challenges for our system. We do appreciate Secretary Leday we've had with the DOTD because that's an important factor on gaining that access so we can get to those places where we see the damage and make repairs. Entergy has a force of 3,300 people working on the storm, will continue to work. All power is restored. Governor.
Okay, just to wrap this up. First of all, for everyone in Louisiana, pipes, pits, plants, and people. Make sure you're checking on your neighbors. A couple of major takeaways. Really would not have anyone else die of carbon monoxide poisoning or anyone lose life, property due to fires. If you are using supplemental heat, if you're using an electric heater, gas furnace, again, 3 to 5 feet. That means this much from tip to look at it. Say, okay, here's my heating source. Is there anything nearby that could catch on fire? Far away from here to here. That will help you. We want you all to stay safe. You're in Central Louisiana. North Louisiana. I would again urge you off the roads. In South Louisiana, I think our roads are open and pretty much safe. At night, it's going to dip. Freezing, hard freeze, as Jay said. So in the morning, when you get on the road, just use a little extra caution. Don't get in a hurry. The state offices are going to open tomorrow, except for those in North Louisiana. So again, morning commute. Take your time. your time. I don't think anyone's going to punish anyone for a little tardiness. Be very careful on the roadways. But again, I would urge you, take precaution when something. If you are in North Louisiana, and have power, and you also do not have to find somewhere to go. Don't think, the power may just come on at midnight. It is dangerously cold over the next couple of nights. Find somewhere warm to go. So again, I want to thank all of the citizens who've listened and helped us to stay off the roadways. I want to thank all local and state employees who've been working around the clock. I know it's cold out there. We really do appreciate it. I know our citizens appreciate it. It's what's going to help us get the power on as quickly as possible. I want to thank our utility companies for marshaling the resources necessary to try to get power to our citizens as quickly as possible. Also, let's be patient. With the power. As Philip explained to you, it takes time. It takes to bring those loads on. With that, any questions anyone might have. Yes, sir.
So I have a question about cars. I learned today that if turn on a car when it's freezing, someone immediately frosts or the windshield on very high, could actually cause the rash. Could someone what's the best way to do that?
Well, I would think again. Warming your car up. I'll probably get myself in trouble. I turn the car on, you kind of let it just warm up, real slowly, and then you come back, and you can drive away that. That's what I would tell you. Especially if you got ice on your windshield, you give yourself a little extra time. Getting up in the morning, turning your car on, kind of slowly, let it just warm up, and making your way on the road is probably the best way to do it. Best way to do it. Some ice accumulation on your windshield. Again, you want to make sure it's going to be. It's going to be. I appreciate that. Bitterly cold, so that windshield is extremely cold as well. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right now is whether could you give an update on control operations specifically where that stands?
Yeah, look, right now we're focused on making sure that people are safe, making sure that we're making power back on. We are making sure that clear our roadways. Right now, the safety of the citizens of the state are my top priority.
We're only taking on topic questions. Can you clarify how many deaths there have been? 4 or 5?
Bruce is two. Well,
We've confirmed two so far. They've been already, and we're tracking. There are 3 additional deaths that we're tracking. It appears that from the coroners that an additional 2, before total, are hypothermia as well. What makes the additional 2 interesting is they both were in their own homes. One was in a mobile home, and the other one in an apartment. And again, I'll just implore everyone to use our warming centers and warming shelters, especially for overnight. Like tonight, it's really important, especially with complex medical issues or vulnerable populations. Really go in to use the shelters.
Governor, we saw some severe damage in Hardin, Mississippi. Are we sending any resources to our neighbors?
Right now, we're trying to extend all of our resources back on. I will tell you the damage you saw in Oxford. From what I can tell, I was on the phone all day today with officials, especially in the northeastern part of the state. The damage in Oxford is similar to the damage in West Carroll and Richland Parish and Washita. So right now, we're going to take care of our citizens. Certainly, as assets become available, we will send them to our neighbors. Thank you.
The governor of Oklahoma released a statement as the head of the National Governors Association today, I believe, saying that he believes and members of the NGA believe there should be a reset on immigration. Are you in agreement?
Well, again, Julie, I'm happy to answer those questions and others as soon as all of our citizens of danger. So give me a couple more days. Give me some good warm sunshine. I'll be more than happy to address that question.
Anyone has on-topic questions?
Question for the State Farm. You talked a little bit about think you said 13. Was it tell us some flyers? Can you talk a little bit about the free installation?
Yeah, so a program called Operation Save a Life, where we
Save a Life,
distribute
where we
smoke
distribute
alarms to any
smoke
citizen in
alarms
the
to any
state of
citizen in the
Louisiana.
state of
Who
Louisiana.
request one through their local fire department, and we're happy to give them an alarm and the fire alarm and the fire department and install it for them.
Okay, last one.
Okay.
Last
All right, one more. All right, one more.
Can you, Greg Hilburn is reporting that the water is out in the Monroe. I know you addressed this, but they're like big water systems that are out. And do you have an idea of where they are?
I can't explain the degree to which water is out for the entire parish, but I do know that we're working with St. Francis Hospital right now, which is experiencing a loss of water pressure. And this is not an internal system issue, but there's a city issue. And so we're tracking it very closely and supplying as much assistance as we can. We're hoping that within an hour we'll have restored water pressure within the hospital. I hope that extends to the rest of the parish.
And Judah mentioned that's actually a great question, great topic. Because here's why it is really something that citizens should be aware of. As pipes thaw out, right? And people and we start to recognize residential and utility pipe water pipes. We'll see where they fail. So right now, if they're frozen, don't know if they're going to leak. As it thaws out, they'll start to leak, which will bring the water pressure down. Could create ball advisories. Could create low pressure problems as well. So that is something that should be prepared for throughout the duration of this event.
Last one. Can you talk about looking for an emergency and declaration from the White House? What does that allow for? Financial?
Yeah, we're in discussions. We're recognize, as one of the questions alluded to Oxford, Mississippi, and the damage over Mississippi, which is similar to the northeast section of the state as well. We're seeing, and what we anticipate is huge debris that need to be cleaned up. A lot of vegetation has gone down, and so we would need to add to the current declaration that the president has already extended to us, which we are very grateful to both him and Secretary Hill. FEMA has been on the phone with us consistently, but we're going to be urging them to extend that major declaration, which would really give us some reassurance that as we start to remove the amount of debris, because some of the parishes are extremely rural parishes that are going to need some help. And so we're going to be working with FEMA for that. I'm sure Governor Reeves over in Mississippi is going to do the same, and I'm doing the same, and Bill Lee up in Tennessee as well. Okay. All right. Thank you. Stay safe and warm.